How is this just legal extortion? This is like...
It's not extortion.
150K is the max you can seek from them because the law dictates the max you can get in damages. This is not even a shakedown. This is not even extortion. I don't think you guys understand. This is just legal bullying.
I mean, he's not wrong. It's not a shakedown and it's not extortion.
Legal YouTubers and free speech people are extra quiet. No, I think there's some legal YouTubers who have covered it, but they're like pro Ethan. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, it's just a massive sweep for Ethan here. We have Hasan reacting. This is his initial reaction to, you know, Ethan Klein's video about suing the creators.
Apparently, there's a second content nuke that is, I guess, hit the timelines. And I make some interesting. I'm in the content nuke apparently, but it's not a content nuke alone. It's also a lawsuit. It turns out Ethan's initial content nuke, by his own estimation, by his own statements,
it did. All right, cool.
Was actually a trick. Was a trap. He wanted to basically sue everyone that watches the content nuke. And
well, that's already one misleading piece of information.
He's Mr. Copyright Infringement is trying to litigate the resentment that people feel towards him once again, which I think is very...
I'll agree with him. 100%. He is 100% using this lawsuit in an effort to go up against people that he's been in, at war with and at odds with this entire time. I can't disagree with Hasan there. I may dislike the guy, but when he's right, he's right. And same with Ethan. I don't agree with everything he does. When he's wrong, he's wrong. When he's right, he's right.
Weird. And he is he's launched a lawsuit against Frogan, Denims, and Casey Tron. Now, a lot of people watched his content nuke. I don't know why he only sued those people. I mean, I watched his content.
I mean, he explains it in his video.
Nuke as well, but here's the, I don't know, this is so stupid. I don't know what to say about it, but here's the Dick Sturdonox thing I saw from it.
That I formulated an idea. What if I could make a long...
Now, this Dexterto or Dexter, whatever the fuck, is so incredibly bad faith.
Long form.
It states, reveals he created his content nuke video to bait Hasan into watching it so he could sue him for copyright. That's just not true. He put out the content nuke as bait for a majority of the people to react to it because he knew they were going to steal from it. Ethan has already come out and stated multiple times he cannot sue Hasan for two reasons. One, first and foremost, he asked him to react to it, which would negate any level of lawsuit against Hasan. And two, he was transformative. He watched, I think it was like a 12-hour live stream in which he watched it, or 12 or 20-hour live stream or some shit like that. He was transformative. As much as Hasan does chair reacts, with this reaction to the content nuke, he was transformative with it. So those are the two reasons why Ethan isn't suing him. So this whole, because Hasan never finished the video after spending 9 hours reacting to 9 hours, Ethan is suing 3 smaller female streamers instead. No, it doesn't matter if you reacted to only half of the video. You can still be sued for copyright infringement. There's like obviously a length of time in which you can get a lawsuit for this. And I think it is somewhere around like 5 to 10 minutes, but it doesn't matter on that. He doesn't have to finish the video to be hit with the copyright strike. That's not at all how this works.
That I formulated an idea. What if I could make a long-form, irresistible piece of content that I knew that these streamers couldn't resist? They couldn't avoid the temptation of watching it the second it was published.
I don't have an issue with them.
It's not that I wanted these people to steal my video. It's that I knew they would. I knew they would watch the entire video, add little to no commentary, react to it instantly, giving them no time to form an opinion. The trap was set, and it worked even...
Yeah, except I didn't do any of those things,
which is why you're not being sued. It's that simple.
I feel like is a major failure of a trap. He begged me to watch it for months. He cried on camera that I just refused to watch it. And then I even told him I'd watch it alongside him if necessary. And then I ended up watching it months later to fundraise, and it's a 8-hour reaction for even half of the content nuke. So I guess that kind of failed. So now he's just going after people who he perceives as defenseless, smaller.
Again, you're twisting the reality. The moment he asked you to react to it, he could no longer sue you. You were also transformative, regardless of whatever your takes were during it. He went after the other three because he didn't ask them to, watch it, which would be one way that they could get out of litigation. But also they weren't transformative, so they can't get out of this litigation. It has nothing to do with anything else.
Content.
Well, I mean, obviously the vendetta against him.
The creators that he can possibly litigate to try to secure a litigation victory after he got pushed in by a billionaire that he defamed, Brian Kavanaugh. So now he's just like desperate to get a win somewhere. I don't even know if this will work in his favor, but I don't even know if this was like a masterful gambit from the start. Like, I don't even know if this was like a setup, because it doesn't make sense. Because on the one hand, why would you admit that you were doing entrapment? Like
it's not entrapment, you fucking moron. It's not a criminal case, it's a civil case. Why is everyone so stupid? Why do people speak on the law when they don't know what they're actually talking about? It's one thing to be like what I say and like, hey, listen, I don't really know entirely the law, but out of litigation that I have covered or that I have seen, this is what some lawyers say and this is what lawyers do. We even reacted to a lawyer covering this, right? It's not a criminal case. There is no entrapment. Not only that, but even if it was a criminal case, Ethan is not a officer of the court. He is not an officer of the law. He's not employed by the CIA, the FBI, Homeland Security, police department, freaking border security. He's not employed by any of those. So it wouldn't be entrapment. And secondly, even if he was employed with them, he could be the president of the fucking United States of America and it still wouldn't be entrapment because it's a civil case.
You wanted people to go react to your video. You said you wanted people to go react to your video. You said anyone and everyone can even, make money.
This was months ago. Not even months. This was years ago. And it's funny too, because in this video, which was clipped out by this dude, Ethan states specifically that you can't just rip his content and upload it. It has to be transformative. And that is the way that you can get around him ever sending a copyright strike against you, just like the law states.
Money off of your videos in the past when we had a podcast together, only to then turn around and be like, actually, I got you. You reacted to my video and therefore you're done. He claims you're watching it was fair use, unlike those he's suing. I thought about not responding to this, but it's so silly that he was like, he's openly admitting that he was baiting me into a lawsuit and then it didn't.
He didn't openly, oh my God. The malicious recounting of what actually occurred.
Work. So now he's just like going after other people that reacted to it as well. He wanted everyone to watch it. He wanted more eyeballs to see this video. He wanted as many.
Yes, that's like saying, you know what, Disney? I know you really, really wanted everyone to watch Star Wars, so why are you getting mad at me that I bootlegged it and sold it to people? Didn't you want more eyes on it? Yeah, I set up my camcorder and recorded the entire freaking movie, and then I went to the flea market or I went on the corner and started selling your movie for $5 a pop. Don't you want more people to watch it? That's not how it works, bro. Yes, you might want people to watch it. You might want people to cover it. But in their coverage, they have to actually provide substance.
Many eyeballs to see this video, so much so that he like tanked his Twitch channel because he was playing it 24/7. And now that more eyeballs actually saw it, he
tanked his Twitch channel because he was playing your shit. He was playing the content nuke, and it ended up getting taken down for terroristic propaganda. A video on you being a terroristic propagandist got taken down for terroristic propaganda. You can't make this shit up, bro.
He's upset. Hasan, he absolutely did not make the nuke with this in mind. He's just acting now. He thinks he's in a way that a villain would act. Yeah, it's kind of sad either way.
Okay. You guys really think he did not make this with the intention of going after people who, did copyright infringement? If that was the case, he would never have gotten it copywritten with the freaking Library of Commerce. The COPE is insane. Like Hasan has had like one or two good points so far, but the echo chamber that is your chat, bro.
It's sad to try, and it's sad in so many different ways. The reason why it's sad in so many different ways is because, like, then, okay, the content nuke was actually bullshit. Like, you don't actually think I'm a terrorist. You just slandered your Muslim former podcast co-host a terrorist for what? This trap that...
Two things can be true at the same time. It could be a trap, and he could also think that you're a terrorist. The one does not have to, one can exist with the other. They don't counteract each other.
You could launch against potentially him and all these other content creators who watch it. Like, that was your brilliant plan. Like, the terrorism stuff was actually nothing. Cool, man. Thanks. The demands for deplatforming that are baked into the video. Very strange stuff. But I guess the slander doesn't end there, because in the Denims lawsuit, I'm compared to the Grand Mufti Haj Amin al-Husseini. Al-Husseini meets Adolf Hitler, November 28th, 1941. Al-Husseini with his close friend Heinrich Himmler. In the wake of...
Now, I will say this. I have gotten wind. I did see it. Someone did leave a comment that there is this comparison of Hasan to these people. Haven't obviously read the entire litigation. I have to know what the actual context of this is.
October 7th, Hasan emerged as the modern incarnation of the Grand Mufti Haj Amin al-Husseini. Like al-Husseini, Hasan became a passionate advocate and highly charismatic leader of the Palestinian cause. Like al-Husseini, Hasan used his massive platform to spread genocidal rhetoric about anyone advocating for the right of Jewish self-determination in their ancestral homeland, i.e. Zionists. The primary difference between Hasan and al-Husseini is that al-Husseini worked with the Nazis and advocated for the annihilation of the Jews, while Hasan advocates for the annihilation of all Zionists. Since the vast majority of Jews in the United States say caring about Israel is essential or important, this would necessarily include the vast majority of Jews, even if they support the Palestinian cause and vehemently condemn the actions of the Israeli government. The vast annihilation of Zionists. Zionism is a political ideology. And I don't think I've ever said we must annihilate. I'm not even going to finish that, because he's going to clip this out of context and then use it in his next lawsuit probably. But what a ridiculous lawsuit.
You literally said people who are Zionists aren't even fit to be dog catchers. Like, okay, that isn't, you know, saying, oh, they should be annihilated. Yes. But it's very obvious what your opinion is on people who hold that political ideology.
Like, he just had...
Now, obviously, you know, stating that, saying, hey, this is obvious, this is whatever, it has these undertones, blah, 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 blah. Litigation in that format is, you know, it's a minefield in and of its own. But, like, that's not why, that's not why to care about this.
Had to do a little bit of, he just had to add a little bit of defamation in there as well. Just sneak in some defamation for no reason. Like, what the I agree with the bottom line of this video. When someone reacts to a video without any reaction, shouldn't happen. Maybe I'm insane.
Yep.
No, but that's the reason why he's trying to use this as a form of attack, so that people like you who have this opinion, he knows that he can't litigate this issue on the basis of his support for Israel. Okay. So now he's trying to litigate this issue on the basis of React content, which is more in line with the normal kind of drama that he engages with. And that a lot of onlookers, such as yourself, will go, well, I kind of agree with that. He made this YouTube video. He has every right to sue people for copyright. That's it. The only...
Again, I'll agree with this. I'll agree with a portion of what he's saying. He doesn't have the ability to litigate the harassment between the both parties, because let's be realistic here. There has been harassment from both sides. He doesn't have the ability to litigate the whole, you know, dog whistling that they're doing. So he's using this copyright litigation in an effort to basically get his... I don't want to say revenge. You could use that word, but in order to get where he wants to be, right? In order to go ahead and cause damage to these people. Again, personal opinion, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was true.
The intelligent part about this is redirecting his animosity to a better playing field. Asmongold's reaction got millions of views and he barely said anything in the reaction. Yeah, I suspect that Asmongold's reaction was, I mean, not as transformative, but certainly complimentary, which is precisely the reason why he doesn't have an issue with that.
You wouldn't know that unless you watched it. Again, you're making a statement of fact without even knowing what you're talking about. You'd have to watch it. You're making an assumption that Asmongold wasn't transformative. Now, do I know if it was transformative? As far as I know, from what people have said, from what people have watched, I haven't watched the entirety of it. It was transformative enough, the same way that yours was transformative enough. Again, just because your reaction is 8, almost 9 hours long doesn't necessarily mean that it was of transformative nature. But Hasan was transformative.
Interesting stuff. Here is what I was talking about. And I think when we had the podcast together, even back then.
Well, I want to say a little show note. Okay. Here's to all the industrial entrepreneuring spirits out there. I am opening our IP to the world. This is a message with peace and love.
You can now make your own H3 podcast. That's right, everyone.
I guess you...
And you can also see here. So here's the thing. Ethan did cover this, and he said that he was specifically talking about the H3 podcast, which is pretty obvious, especially from Dan stating that right there. You can make your own H3 podcast. So it's obvious that they're talking about opening up the IP for the H3 podcast. But Ethan then later goes on, after this clip cuts off, to state that you can use any content that I'm a part of, which would then include the H3 content nuke on Hasan. The portion that truly matters that is cut out of this video, and I will have to find it for the VOD, is he states that it has to be transformative.
What do you mean?
Always interesting how, people who are against somebody, as much as they talk about wanting, not wanting to be clipped out of context, how often they are to platform people who do clip others out of context. It's crazy.
That's not what I mean. Oh, that's not what I mean. No. Gotcha. You can't make a fake H3 podcast, although you probably could actually, because I don't think anyone would mistake it.
I mean, if it's a parody, you can do whatever you want.
Anyone would mistake it. So our IP is open. I got inspired by Hasan. He has the Hasan Industrial Complex. But I want the Ethan Industrial Complex. I think it's a good idea. I like it.
God, that laugh.
Yeah, I think it's really cool.
And it's actually crazy how many people are seemingly making a decent living.
Yeah, I mean, this is a desperate attempt to grab on to any sort of controversy and drama. I'm sure that me reacting to it is actually playing into exactly what he wanted to do. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this is specifically so that you guys go and show support to Denims, Rogan, and Casey Tron.
But why aren't you showing any support, brother? You're a freaking multimillionaire, freaking socialist, and you haven't donated. You're not helping them with their legal funds, as far as we can see. It's a little ass backwards, don't you think? You're claiming all of this socials, tax the rich, even though you are yourself rich. You're claiming to be a socialist, yet you're not spreading the wealth around. What's going on?
Because obviously he has a ton of money, and he's going to use the ton of money that he has to bully other content creators who don't have a ton of money and try to win some kind of public opinion battle. That is partially the reason why he went after Frogan, Denims, and Casey Tron. These are people who get insane lines of attack, and most people don't choose to defend them. I don't think he actually wanted the smoke, which is precisely the reason why he didn't try to do this for me or any.
Oh my God. Your chatter literally said that you transformed the content. That's why. And you even stated the fact that he asked you to react to it. It has nothing to do with not wanting the smoke. There's no legal platform for him to be able to go after you on with those two things in mind.
Any other content creators who reacted to his context puke, which by the way was his wishes. That was his desire. His desire from the start was for everyone and anyone to watch this, so that everyone could know about the dangers of me being a terrorist. He said it in the context nuke on numerous occasions. But like I said, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because we should show support to the content creators he is unjustifiably attacking. And that's it. That's it. That's all I got. It's so funny in this video. He says XQC and Asmon he wants to be cool with, and yet XQC had him have that whole debate where he did the worm. Yeah.
Oh, that's not at all what he said. He said that he's not suing them. He didn't say he wants to be cool with them. And it's crazy how much Hasan has been talking about Asmongold. Ever since Asmongold started moving into political commentary, which I do not understand why. It's crazy how much Hasan has just been going after him when he's over here trying to talk about Ethan, of all people, wanting to stick and be relevant. It's funny.
I mean, Ethan Klein is very similar to Donald Trump in many ways. Donald Trump will let bygones be bygones as long as you offer fealty or as long as he can use you. Ethan
Bro, that's rich.
sees Asmongold and XUC as allies. Ethan sees a bunch of neo-Nazis as reliable allies because they all despise me. And that's precisely the reason why he's perfectly fine with aligning with them and working with them because he operates on the enemy of my enemy is my friend attitude. That's it. Pathetic, immoral, desperate man, a 40-year-old still doing like...
Dude, you're like in your 30s. You're not too far away. Come on, man. You can't be throwing out, oh, he's just old. He's in his 40s. Could you believe that, bro? He's in his 40s.
I think he's beyond upset that the nuke failed in every way. The main goal of stopping Hasan's infiltration of mainstream media was a massive failure. The goal to deplatform and make smaller creators featured in the video lose viewers backfired tremendously. Every small streamer that was featured has reached unprecedented levels of success after the video. That too. That probably pisses him off. I think he's trying to throw money at the problem and frivolous lawsuits. I don't know what the goal here is. Breaking.
He says it in the video.
React content in general. After saving fair use, Ethan Klein will now kill fair use. One man's conquest. Please, can this be the last coverage? Yes, it will absolutely be the last coverage.
Well, I don't think it was the last coverage, y'all. I don't think it was the last coverage.
This is an insane person, dude. He's crashing out and hasn't stopped this sort of behavior. Speaking of people who lost their minds after having the slightest pushback on their Zionist way of viewing the world, Ethan Klein is apparently literally using the Donald Trump strategy of trying to bleed their opponents dry for everything they have to silence them. This is so insane, says Onion Person, because apparently he is looking to sue Shonda Black as well now. Like, it's so transparently a mechanism of bullying people through frivolous litigation. And even if the litigation doesn't go anywhere, which it won't, for the record, it doesn't matter because the point is not to actually win the point is not to actually win any sort of like damages. The point is to damage the opposition by putting them under a mountain of paperwork that's incredibly costly. I assume that's part of the reason why he hasn't tried some like this with me, and he's just going after all these other people who are much smaller content creators who don't have the same financial freedom to be able to do so. So he basically said, oh, you guys said I was misogynistic. Well, guess what? I'm suing a black man now. and then turned around and apparently released this. He said, I understand my announcement that I'm going to sue Shonda Black was upsetting to some. Therefore, in an act of superhuman grace, I will make you this offer. If the Snark subreddit, Taylor Lorenz, and Cat 10 Barge all apologize for calling me a misogynist, I will consider dropping the lawsuit against Sean. This offer expires on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. I thought this was all about copyright litigation. What do you mean? So he's just dangling litigation against people, random people, because other people have hurt his feelings by correctly calling him a misogynist? How is this just legal extortion? This is like...
It's not extortion, first and foremost. What it is an offer, right? It's the same thing as like a settlement offer or something of that nature. Extortion would be do this or I'm going to do that, right? He's wanting to go ahead and turn around and make a offer here. Now, can you look at it as extortion? I'd say honestly, there's a good argument to be made, and the fact is though is he's stating, hey, if you guys go ahead and apologize, I would consider dropping the lawsuit. It's the same thing here with like Denims. If he made the same offer to Denims and said, hey, apologize to me for what you said, and I'd be willing to drop the lawsuit. That's an offer. It's the same thing as if you're in a criminal case and they say, instead of us going after you for the death penalty, we're offering you 20 to 25 years. It's an offer. It's not extortion.
Extortion through litigation. Yeah, this is The last thing I'll say about this, but Ethan Klein is using me to force accomplished women journalists to grovel to him is ironically exactly the misogyny
yeah, women journalists. That's a good one.
he claims is inaccurate in this very post. He presents a false choice. 1, grovel to him as he exerts the control he wants to feel over women. 2, deny him whatever gratification he gets from that narcissistic behavior and subsequently be blamed by him for a smaller creator being sued. I reject this choice. F you, Ethan. And not even giving them the option for the women groveling to lyrics to other women from the lawsuit, carefully crafted to only humiliate and inconvenience.
Hold on. You literally just said giving the option. The option. So it's not extortion. It's an option. You completely defeat. If you agree with this statement, you are defeating your argument that it is extortion.
Groveling to lyrics to other women from the lawsuit, carefully crafted to only humiliate and inconvenience women. Amazing. Is it legal misusing litigation like this? Guys, I don't think you understand. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because he has a ton of money. Okay.
I mean,
until he is deprived of all of that money, he can just do this permanently. Okay. That's it. Like everyone, it's really interesting because like everyone understands that this is all completely ridiculous. Some people try to act as though there is a real purpose behind this. There's a real way to finally take down these copyright abusers, right? That's not the case. He's just using a patent troll method. He couldn't do this in any other court. That's why he had to go and get his video copyrighted ahead of time. YouTube just...
Well, you have to in order to be able to file the copyright lawsuit and get specific damages. But again, I agree. This is a very, the litigious nature of this lawsuit here has a lot more, in my personal opinion, to do with the whole harassment campaign that was levied against him, more so than it does copyright. How much more so? Don't know. To me, 80-20, maybe 70-30, who knows?
On Twitter,
but I really just don't give a shit.
Twitter calls for people banning him. We really appreciate you bringing this to our attention. Mind reporting the channel and the official reporting tool if you haven't yet. No, this is just, and this is automated. This is not real. The chances of him actually succeeding in court are very little. You can file California bar complaints against this lawyer for vexatious litigation, I believe. Yeah, that's.
You want to go after the lawyer? Oh my God. Yeah. Do you know how difficult it is to prove fictitious litigation? Yeah, I mean, you could try, but that's still tens of thousands of dollars.
It's just a bot. You know what's really ironic about this? The initial copyright suits that he filed against Frogan, Denims, and Casey Tron, some of which are literally in the original work that he put out there, right, is basically because he doesn't like them and he doesn't like the way that they reacted to the work.
Doesn't like them. I can agree with you on that, but doesn't like the way they reacted. Well, it's the fact that they didn't react. That's the issue, buddy. I can't, it's crazy how somebody can take something, and he's obviously good. I mean, he's a self-proclaimed propagandist, so he's very, very good. He's had many years to be able to craft, to become well-crafted, and taking something and completely turning it around and saying that it's one thing when it's actually something else.
Anything else he says about this is bullshit. It is a way to try and silence criticism, and under different circumstances,
silence criticism, yet Denims' mods were just banning anybody that was, well, a lot of people who were criticizing her.
He would get hit with a he would get hit with an anti-slap, but he can't here because it's on federal courts over copyright. He's using the one most effective method to be able to sue people successfully, which is what patent trolls use. He's basically behaving like a patent troll to stop people from reacting to his videos, and not even to stop people from reacting to his videos, but just to, hurt financially the people that cannot undergo this incredibly long and incredibly costly process. It's just a bull.
They probably should have thought about that before they openly admitting that they were creating a market substitute. I'm just going to be realistic here.
Bully them, because he's not doing this to Asmongold. He's not doing this to XQC. It's not like their reaction was like tremendously better than, I don't know, Denims or
It was. Yeah, it definitely was. But that's the wonderful thing about a lawsuit. You can pick and choose who it is that you want to go after. You don't have to go after every single person that you feel it infringed upon your copyright. You can pick and choose the people who did it the most egregiously, which would then set a precedence to go after other people. Now, is he going to go after other people if he wins in this court? I don't know. Hopefully he just leaves it at this, because these are the people that he's, fighting with the most. But you don't have to go after every single person that infringed upon your copyright. You can pick and choose who it is.
Or Frogan, who was primarily featured in the work, by the way. For Frogan especially, she's literally slandered in this work that she's responding to.
None of that has anything to do with copyright. It doesn't matter if the entire video was about Frogan.
That was good. How much we get for that? Yo, you got 10 million from Qatar for that? That's what I'm talking.
You think I'm paid? What? Yeah, I wish. 10 million? Man, I'd take 10 million for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a joke.
And he's not doing it to me because, again, he can't get the same satisfaction. I'm a much larger.
No, it's because, again, he asked you to react to it, which negates any sort of lawsuit.
Content creator. I don't have the same, I have a lot of enemies for sure, so he can probably galvanize them, but I'm a much larger content creator that can put up a stronger opposition and can withstand litigation like this. These other content creators cannot. It's a very calculated move. But think about it. It's not like a earnest copyright litigation. And ironically enough, if this were to set some new standard, some new precedent for copyright, in terms of React content on the internet, this would actually harm half snark commentary Lawtubers themselves, and yet they're still willingly joining in on the battle because they hate the people that Ethan is bullying.
I'll agree with that too. There are people who know very little about any of this who are just gung-ho to go after the creators that they dislike. What I will say though is that, again, the UMG lawsuits are a way better example of not necessarily frivolous lawsuits, but of a person who could cause catastrophic ripple effects within the commentary space.
Realize that this might have negative consequences for themselves if it sets a new precedent for how content creation is done online. But I don't think it'll happen.
I think it sets a worse precedence if he ends up losing this, because then it would show that you can just play a video and walk away from it or add very little substance to it, and it would still be under fair use.
Regardless, they already set precedent, and their own precedent will use to shut down H3 for their claim. I know, but it doesn't matter because
no, that's not no. Can they use the lawsuit in which they won as a level of precedent? Sure, but they have to prove how that and it's up to the judge. They have to prove how that lawsuit has anything to do with this current lawsuit and how they are able, or where the parallels are, in an effort to be able to utilize it as a point of reference.
If that is a costly legal battle. Ultimately, that costly legal battle is still a victory for Ethan because he was able to bully these people, and they're receiving death threats in the process. People are on them. All of these other
people have been shitting on them since the inception of their fucking channels. If you're online, you're going to get hate, is the bottom line. You can't attribute everything that Ethan has said or done about these people to the harassment that they've received online. Otherwise, we could attribute all the harassment that Ethan has been gotten from, people of your community. And I think that that's so dumb. Are content creators responsible for their own, or what level of responsibility does a content creator have for their community? If they're brigading, if they're doing calls to action and stuff of that nature, dog whistling, all yada yada yada, absolutely they should be held accountable. But just as I do not believe that Hasan is liable for everything that his psychotic fans do, I also believe that for Ethan, if they're not making these calls to action, if they're not doing these implications, if they're not calling for brigading or anything of that nature, you can't turn around and say that the harassment the Frogan's getting is all because of Ethan. Otherwise, you have to then accept that all the harassment Ethan is getting is because of Hasan. It's just, no, it's a double-edged sword. And making that argument is just terrible for both of you.
Orbiters that suckle on the teat are salivating with like extra drama. And I go through this back and forth where I'm like, should I not cover this at all? But also because I know that's what he wants ultimately. He wants attention. He's like a petulant child, a pathetic crybaby, a permanent victim.
You're really calling him a crybaby? Bro. Frogan says that your soldiers deserve PTSD and then cries about it when she got freaking backlash. I mean, I guess both can be cry bullies.
Right. But also at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if I don't give any attention to this with my platform, it's like, then I feel like I'm leaving these people defenseless.
I mean, you could donate to their GoFundMe. Then they wouldn't be defenseless. Just speaking on it and retweeting their GoFundMes kind of is leaving them defenseless. Talking is cheap. Talk is cheap, bro. You can't litigate something without money.
He has also admitted multiple times he wants to hurt you financially through them as if you were their legal guardian. No, I know.
Oh, that's not what he said. That's not what he said. That's a twist of words. What he's saying is calling out Hasan, who claims to be a socialist, and yet he has yet to spread the wealth amongst the people that are his orbiters. That is what he has made. That is the claims he has made.
No.
So they all now have a GoFundMe. Okay. And I think it's so funny that now that they're competing against each other for defense dollars, and Smog the Dragon, aka Hasan Piker, the communist, socialist savior, he is not opening his wallet.
That's why he keeps saying like,
wait, that has nothing to do. That's not him saying that he wants to hurt Hasan financially. He's stating, how can you claim to be a socialist, but yet you're not helping these friends of yours that you claim to be your friends, who are very obviously your orbiters, and you're not helping them with their litigious finances. That's what he's stating.
Oh, socialist, why won't he give these guys money? Trust me, if I offer support, you won't know about it. Okay? What I've done thus far, you will never hear about it. And it's
now, is it possible that he's helping them behind the scenes? I imagine so. The smartest thing for him to do would be to help behind the scenes if he's going to help at all. Otherwise, there are certain aspects of like giving the money or anything like that that could be seen as him funding the hate campaign and things of that nature. I think that any sort of help that anybody, with a massive platform such as Hasan would be giving to these other creators should absolutely be done behind the scenes. Now, does that really matter when it comes to discovery? No, because it could be found out in discovery, but at least it quells the idea of him going after these people or funding these people. Hey, Seek, what's up, man? I saw you in the cafe earlier.
It's I wish everyone would stop talking about him. The more orbiters on both sides talk about him, the angrier he gets. All talking about it does lead to more hate to them. I know, which is why I'm trying to play this balancing act here. How large a part of his content is it's his entire content. That's the only thing. No, he didn't add me to the lawsuit because he begged me to watch his video.
He won't watch the damn video. Don't let him get away with that, man. It's just pathetic.
I'm almost certain a lot of people have suspected that Ethan never actually planned to sue people. No, he did. I think
bro, you're contradicting yourself. In the beginning of the video, you literally stated that this was never in the other video we watched. You stated that he was not planning to do this, that he was pretending to be some Disney supervillain, and now here you are saying he did plan to do this. This is like the Tommy C versus Chud logic issue. It's incredibly difficult to follow somebody or believe anything they say when they're constantly contradicting themselves.
I think he wanted to sue me. I think he wanted to make the nuke. And
I agree with
when
that.
I reacted to it, sue me. I think that was his grand design. But it
just wanted to show a bit of love as much as I can. Seek, appreciated, brother, appreciated.
Failed spectacularly because I just didn't watch it. And he cried on camera and begged for me to watch it. And then when I ended up watching it months later, I watched it for 9 hours. So it'd be really, really stupid. Oh. This is why we need more.
Thanks, Seek. Appreciate you, man. I wonder, it should play, hopefully. Oh, I guess not. I might have to fix the Might have to fix those.
Leftists get involved in the fight for free speech online.
Oh, there it is. Oh, I'm gonna have to hire that up too. Oh man, you gifted it. Hey man, you gifted it to yourself. That's great.
There are laws that can protect against this, but we need people to fight for them. There are several clips of E saying that he's only suing them because he's richer than them and wants to punish them using the legal system. The judge would throw out the claim in a second, but this is about financially hurting the people he doesn't like, so the damage would still happen in the lead up. Yeah.
No. Obviously, intention matters, yes, but he didn't outright state, "I have more money than these people. That's why I'm going after them." That's oh man.
That's it. Someone get legal on this? No big YouTuber will tackle this issue. I'm sorry.
Multiple big YouTubers have already tackled this issue.
Sorry, because they don't want to go after Ethan because he's a maniac.
Yes, yeah, a lawyer is terrified of a guy. A lawyer's terrified of Ethan. Legal mindset, terrified of Ethan. Legal, terrified of Ethan. Just absolutely terrified. People who've spent multiple decades knowing the law, learning the law, and practicing the law, absolutely terrified of Ethan.
That's number one. And number two, I don't think they like any of the people Ethan is attacking anyway. You have to realize a lot of these guys, a lot of content creators are sharks. Only after the permission structure opens up for after some brave content creators actually come out and say something, big enough content creators come out and say something, not even myself, because again, I'm in the dangerous camp because I have political opinions that they don't, even if they agree, they don't want to like openly go out and defend, even if they literally agree. It's the same as the Cody Co situation. It took like D'Angelo Wallace to come out and make a video for everyone else to fucking open up the floodgates. Legal YouTubers and free speech people are extra quiet. No, I think there's some legal YouTubers who have covered it, but they're like pro Ethan. Yeah.
What the fuck? They covered it, but they're pro Ethan?
Everyone else to fucking open up the floodgates. Legal YouTubers and free speech people are extra quiet. No, I think there's some legal YouTubers who have covered it, but they're like pro Ethan. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, it's just a massive sweep for Ethan here. It's just a legal mindset sweeping for Ethan as he talks and breaks down the litigious nature of this lawsuit. They just love Ethan so much. You know, Jews and all their friends, guys. Bro, that is hardcore cope. Jesus, that the level. Okay, you want to talk about defaming somebody? You probably of all people on YouTube that you probably don't want to make such a staunch accusation against. It's probably Lawtubers.
To cover this would mean talking on Israel-Palestine, which they are not equipped to do and want to fence it on. Exactly.
No, you don't have to be knowledgeable in the Middle Eastern conflict to be able to talk about copyright law.
So from a legal standpoint, he's right. Not necessarily. I don't even think he has. I don't even think these are lawsuits that he will win, for the record. Patent trolls. Here's what patent trolls do. Okay. Patent trolls will sit on a patent or like will make like minor changes to a patent and go to large corporations, not with the hopes of like actually winning a lawsuit, but with the hopes of settling out of court. Okay. Ethan doesn't want to settle out of court because what could be the actual damages that he has incurred in this process that he could settle out of court with? Patent trolls are never the large company actually patent trolling smaller creators or smaller inventors. It's actually the opposite. It's people that just want to farm money off of large companies. And for many large companies, because copyright claims are fairly airtight, large companies would rather not go through the expensive paperwork that would be more costly to them. So they will just...
I mean, he's got a point. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. When it comes to a company, and I even touch on this on the Knox Hill video coming out on Monday, when it comes to companies, they will do exactly what they're accusing Ethan of doing, which is bleed you dry, because they don't ever want to make it to a courtroom. Because once you are in front of a judge and 12 jurors, you have no idea how those jurors are going to rule. So even if you have the most, staunch defense possible, you have all the evidence in the world, if those 12 jurors do not understand or disagree with you, it's over. But I mean, patent him liking it to patent trolling, those are wavy waters.
Just pay off the person and tell them to f off, right? Because that's significantly cheaper for them. But in this circumstance, you can't even tell Ethan to f by paying him, because the amount that I suspect he's demanding from these content creators is insane, probably. And it's insane on purpose, because the goal here is not to actually reach a settlement. And I don't know why. I don't know why people don't recognize that. He does want to settle. He wants them to apologize.
No, people recognize it. They just don't care. I'm going to be realistic, and I'm honestly one of those people. Do I believe that portion of this is because of copyright? Absolutely. But a majority of this is because of the online harassment and the feuding going on. But at the end of the day, they would have to prove in court that this has nothing to do with copyright law and has everything to do with their online feud.
Apologize and delete their videos. No, he wants money from them too. An impossible amount of money. Rogan said he's asking for 150K. There you go. Do you think that's a valid claim? Do you think that Denims or Frogan or Casey Tron, with their individual YouTube videos or even in their Twitch streams, actually raised $150,000, stole $150,000 from Ethan?
But that's not what damages are. Damages don't necessarily go off of what you've lost, but what those jurors believe you're entitled to. So you could have lost, $1 and they could award you $100. They could award you $1,000. They could award you $1 million. Now, what's the likelihood of that? Not a lot. But you have to also keep in mind how much money they made reacting to that stream. So if they had made, let's say, $10,000, right, reacting to the video during that stream, if they had made $10,000, you can argue in a court of law that that's $10,000 Ethan would have made had they not created a market substitute.
Do you think that that's what happened here? No, of course not. The reason why that price is so high is because settlement is impossible. 150K is the maximum allowed by law for copyright lawsuits. Jesus Christ. 150K is the max he can seek from them because the law dictates the max you can get in damages. This is not even a shakedown. This is not even extortion. I don't think you guys understand. This is just legal bullying.
I mean, he's not wrong. It's not a shakedown and it's not extortion.
Okay? He wants these people to suffer. And he knows he can do that because he has money. He can't do it any other way. He can't do it the normal route. He can't just like constantly talk about, how shitty they are, because that gets boring after a while. So he's trying to jam them up with paperwork. And in defense of this insane lawsuit, he hopes that he can suffer and make content for himself in the process.
And everybody else.
Isn't there anti-slap in California? This is not in California courts. As far as I understand, I think this is literally at copyright claims happening at the federal courts. This is not like a California litigation. It's a federal lawsuit. That's why he actually copyrighted, like patented his YouTube video. Yep. Logan Paul is doing the same suit to CoffeeZilla. All this while
Okay, that lawsuit in and of itself, now that's a frivolous one.
Our subreddits and similar harassment just caused another creator to commit suicide. Yeah, I heard about that. The Fox Sanctuary woman.
That had nothing to do with a lawsuit. That had everything to do with harassment. Oh, God.
So sad.
If you guys didn't check out our video on Michaela, the wonderful human being who had a Fox Sanctuary that unfortunately ended up committing suicide due to the online and in real life harassment that she was receiving from friends, family, and random strangers of the internet. You can definitely go check it out. It's an unfortunate situation, but in no way, shape, or form is it parallel to this, outside of people who are so vitriolic, they take things off of Reddit and go straight to trying to damage and destroy a person's livelihood.
Legal complaints are in California for Denims and Frogan. Wait, what do you mean? Call it for what it is. He's abusing the legal system the way stalkers do. No, that's precisely what he's doing. But in this circumstance, because the legal system is busted, because the legal system is fundamentally broken, if you have a lot of money, you can do this kind of thing. When you're depraved and you're manic and you're an insane person and you don't care about like wasting unlimited funds, especially considering that he does technically have virtually unlimited funds, you can be a vexatious litigant. It's like having a mentally ill stalker who has an unlimited amount of money and power. And not only does he have an unlimited amount of money and power, he also makes content off of this. So it turns into more money for him down the line. Given the way that
he's not wrong on that one. I mean, everything else he's doing, the accusations he's making, you could say everything that you want, but at the end of the day, he is going to the letter of the law as far as the copyright law is. So it doesn't matter if he hates these people, if it doesn't matter if he's utilizing this law, which they broke as a way to, as a means to get back at them. They still broke the law. It's like saying it would be the same thing, right? If the roles were reversed. Let's say he reacted to Hasan uncritically and Hasan sued him for copyright loss, for copyright infringement. Even though Hasan obviously dislikes Ethan, dislikes what he stands for and all of this shit, he would still be well within his right to file a copyright strike, not a copyright strike, but a copyright lawsuit because he's following the letter of the law. Is it malicious? Sure, you could say that. I mean, it doesn't stop the fact that they broke the law.
The legal system works, given the way that our court system works, given the way that copyright works, there's really nothing you can do about it other than hope that it goes away eventually. Just like cyber stalkers, we do not have an adequate measure against cyber stalking, and just like stalking in general, we don't have the
I agree with this 110%.
Best possible measures. So the only thing you can do about cyber stalking is basically hope that they just calm down, take medication, stop stalking you. There's really nothing else you can do about it.
Well, you could also go to your local Senate and push for new bills to be introduced to be harsher on these crimes. There's that as well, which there's a good majority of organizations, or not a majority, but there is a certain amount of, there are organizations pushing for stricter repercussions to stalking. So, you could do that too.
Even now, when I'm talking about this stuff, like there's still people chiming in to say like, oh, what are you afraid of us on? Like there's a couple foot soldiers here and there and orbiters here and there that will come in and say something snide, right? But there's 40,000 people in here. So obviously that doesn't do anything to me. And plus I eat this shit on a daily basis. This is not my first foray with like weirdo content creators in their communities. Oh, stop cry bullying your friends because your friends are having consequences beneath you. Like, see, this is what I mean. It's just like the point here is to be a nuisance.
Oh, come on, man. Rogan and Denims both are massive cry bullies. Casey Tron, I don't know, but I don't watch any of her stuff. But if you're gonna call Ethan a cry bully, you have to also accept that Frogan is one. That's just the bottom line. Now, I'm done with this video. I'm done with listening to his ramblings. Obviously, there's portions of this that I agree with. There's other portions of it that are just completely asinine and him talking in an effort to go ahead and save face, in my personal opinion. So we're going to check out Casey Tron, and then that's going to wrap it up for today, you guys.